Hello, this is the next part of the OSD videos. The software version being run now is 1.06, so there are some bug improvements from the last software. The first thing I'm going to show you is the status screen. So in live video, if you hold the button for at least 5 seconds, it'll then start flashing like this over live video. And this status screen gives you various information about the clear view. Most importantly, the camera type right there tells you which camera type is detected. This is if you're running auto mode, so it knows that there's an NTSC signal and it locked to that. The next thing is your currently tuned frequency and band. Say you turned your OSD off, you might need to actually check here to see what you're actually on. The next thing is the antenna. It shows the stronger antenna as well as the actual signal level. And then the CV status is how well ClearView is locked. Finally, if you are updating your software or you're curious which version you're running, you can look at the right top there and see your version number. So you can see on this one it is 1.06a. The other numbers are sort of the serial number of the receiver and is unique to your ClearView. So we can go back to live video directly from this menu, and there we are. If you're in the status menu, it maintains your ClearView lock, so while you're flying you can actually go into the status menu briefly by holding the button down for less than 5 seconds, like so. So you could briefly check your antenna signal or whatever other parameters you want to look at. So after looking at the status screen, the next thing I want to go into is sort of the band analyzer and setting up favorite channels. So going into the menu with 2 short presses and a long press. We can go down to the option here, band analyzer application. And then you can scroll through, as I showed before, and look at each frequency signal level. So right now we're on race band 7, I think. So there's the signal right there. You can tune to that. It'll show it. And then if you, basically in the band analyzer, I was looking at a channel and then held down to tune to that channel. After about 10 seconds, it'll ask you if you want to keep the previewed banded channel. Or you can return to the band analyzer. Say you tried to find a frequency but it wasn't really quite it. You'd use the second option and keep looking, or you can go back to the prior banded channel. So in the band analyzer, I'm going to show you about spectrum mode. So I mentioned that I really like spectrum mode in the last video. I'm going to show you why spectrum mode is cool. This band analyzer will cycle through all possible bands. So now we're in spectrum mode. So you can see it just picked up the 5880 that the generator is on. So in spectrum mode, you can actually look at all the channels here. So you might notice that those channel numbers that are incrementing aren't exactly evenly spaced. What this does is it breaks up the band into a lot of the commonly used channels and tries to achieve somewhat of an even spacing. So anyways, we can go over here. Say we didn't know that we were on 5880. So right here it's showing that 5880 is actually not the strongest signal. That's just what the band analyzer is picking up. So I'll go to 5885, long press, and then it'll ask you which nearest channel you want to tune to. So I'll go ahead and tune to R7. Again, from the band analyzer, it'll prompt you if you want to keep the previewed banded channel. I will go ahead and do that. The next thing I want to go into is favorites. So going into the main menu, favorites are your favorite bands. If you use this option, the first 4 options right here are your favorites. If you want to access more than your favorites, you click the More button. But your favorites will be here. You can have up to 4. If you have less than 4, then you do. It'll show a line through them. So we can go into the More and look at the rest of the bands. And you can see some custom bands are not enabled. I'll go ahead and exit out of this. So that's where your favorites actually show up. Now I'm going to show you where to change them. Going into the menu, we can go to Change Setup Options, and then change band's activation / preference. right now we are in band enable and favorites. What I'm going to show you is the favoriting feature of the CVG. You can scroll down through your bands and we can see all of the possible bands right here. I've disabled the first option, which is TBS-A or BOSCAM-A, so it's put strike through if it's disabled. Next, if it's favorited. So you can see right here I have F, L, and H bands favorited. That means they show up at where I showed you earlier. If you select this, you can favorite. Now you notice that the rest of them their boxes disappeared. That's because we have 4 favorites. So what I can do now is if, say, I want to favorite IMD6, it's going to prompt me for which band to remove. So I'll keep, or I'll take off U band. So now I have IMD6 and the 3 bands remaining except for U band. So that's how the favoriting feature works. As I showed you before, the frequencies for each band are shown on the bottom. So A band is 5865, 5845, 5825, and so on. And that should be it for activation and favoriting of bands.